I love Sci-Fi's 12 Monkeys and I want you to love it too. Because I fully believe 12 Monkeys is one of the best TV shows out there, and it hurts me that more people don't know about how truly unique and amazing it is. I take it personally, people. Those of you who haven't watched 12 Monkeys, aren't caught up, or stopped along the way and haven't returned, I'm telling you, you need to watch. It's a moral imperative. I hear you over there saying it. There's so much TV out there already. I get it. In the age of peak TV, finding room for new shows is hard. Especially when you're juggling work, friends, kids, bowling teams, etc. And I know people are always throwing out statements like, you need to watch this show, and, it's one of the best shows out there, about, well, everything these days. But this time it's true. The rules of time travel apply. Time travel shows are tricky because it's hard to create an ongoing show that manages to adhere to the rules of time travel without bending or breaking them if you want to allow your characters to interact with other people or affect events in any way. We know the tripwires, paradoxes, butterfly effects, causality. In one scene, Drive, Cassandra Railly, Amanda Sculpt, creates a paradox by placing an object from her past next to that same object in her present, and the resulting explosion is no joke. Like the Terry Gilliam movie that inspired the show, James Cole, Aaron Stanford, has been sent back in time to save the world from a virus. A virus that has killed a majority of Earth's population in Cole's timeline. What happens if he stops the virus from being released? How would things have progressed? Would he have ever been born? Could he blink out of existence? They also deal with the real dangers of time travel and the idea of causality. If the past informs the future, changing the past gets tricky because of the effect it has on the future. 12 Monkeys knows the rules. It doesn't break them. Which makes what it manages to do all the more amazing. It packs an emotional punch. How would it feel to know you could blink out of existence at any time? It's something James Cole directly deals with. He's no hero. He's fallible and complicated and full of contradictions, like most of us. 12 Monkeys is full of emotion, life and death circumstances, and real-world implications, even when dealing with subjects as fantastical as time travel. Would you go back in time to save the world if you knew it would mean you'd never been born? Is there room for love and family when you're fighting for the future of the human race? How do you derail fate? Cassandra Railly is pulled from her time into the future into a life filled with purpose and danger. But also faces loss, joy, the birth and death of a child, and the weight of the future of the world on her shoulders. While I can't tell you what happens, I'll tell you that episodes 408 and 409 left me not just in tears but in need of hugs. You have to care about characters to cry over and for them. You have to be invested in the story. If a show can make you cry, laugh, shout, oh my fucking god, and want to tell everyone who works on the show how much you both love and hate them, that's a good show. It's a riddle wrapped in a mystery. 12 Monkeys is filled with clues and twists and definitely works for those people who love to dive deep and search for clues to solve a show's mysteries. 12 Monkeys creator and writer Terry Matalas is big on planning, and he's made sure he has answers for fans when they have questions, and boy, do they have questions. It also has a knack for revisiting certain events from multiple perspectives over the course of the show, which means you don't really miss anything important. If the writers want you to know something, they'll make sure you see it and still manage to make it new. Matalas has had the major events planned from the beginning, and each season is mapped out with the overall goals in mind. The twists aren't just there to be twists, and the mysteries have actual answers. We may have to wait for everything to be answered until the season finale, but the answers will be there. There's a payoff coming. Multiple payoffs. Mind-blowing, gut-wrenching, ultimately satisfying payoffs. The show is incredibly well written and acted. The 12 Monkeys synopsis, if you broke it down to its base parts, would read something like this. After a viral apocalypse, mercenary James Cole is sent back in time to find Drive, Cassandra Rayleigh in an effort to stop the army of the 12 monkeys before they can release the virus that wiped out most of humanity. Aided by a scientist, a mental patient, a killer, a soldier, and a wildcard, James and Cassie race against time to stop a fanatical group hell-bent on breaking time in order to live forever. It sounds like a B-movie, right? It's so not a B-movie. 12 Monkeys features some of the best writing on television in recent years and actors who don't just play their roles, but embody and enrich them. Aaron Stanford's James Cole is fiercely strong and heartbreakingly vulnerable. Amanda Scull's Cassie Rayleigh moves between healer and killing machine and hits all the places in between. The writing supports all of these changes organically because this team knows we as people have a multiplicity of feelings and all it takes is the right circumstances to see a side of someone you never expected. The same can be said for the rest of the cast. Todd Stashwick's Deacon could have easily become one note in less skilled hands. Alison Down gives her character Olivia a depth of character that's genuinely terrifying at times. It would have been easy for Barbara Suko to play Jones as a stone-cold bitch, but she clearly issues easy. Everyone has definitely come to play and play all out. The really amazing thing is that Season 4 has decidedly turned everything up to 11. Going into the season, everyone knew this would be the last season and it's obvious they've all set out to leave one hell of a lasting impression. Jennifer Goins is amazing. Brad Pitt may have been really great as Jeffrey Goins in the 12 Monkeys film, but Emily Hampshire brings a level of acting ability to Jennifer Goins that surpasses Pitt handily. You get the feeling that Hampshire licks her chops at each new script and challenge and you're never disappointed. Goins is worth the price of admission alone. One could easily write her off as insane, but her insanity is part of her brilliance. She's clever, she's unpredictable, she's volatile, she's emotional, and you never know what you're going to get. Whether she's living in her own version of a music video for 99 Louf Ballons, starring and plays Paris in the 1920s, or running her own local terrorist group, Jennifer Goins is amazing on this show. I want to be her when I grow up. I watched, but I lost interest. If you've stopped somewhere along the way, I fully believe it's worth jumping back in. If you're caught up, great, but I guarantee you're not prepared for what happens in the back half of this season. For the first time, we know the true face of the enemy. We know what they have planned. We know they have to be stopped. But how do you stop an enemy that's better equipped, has a better roadmap and has a better time machine? That will stop at nothing to win? Jennifer Goins doing her best. Jennifer Garner in Alias is worth the price of admission alone. But everything is on the line this season. Everyone makes sacrifices. Not everyone will come out alive. Season 4 is, hands down, the best season of the show and every episode tops the last. There's no way I could have predicted 95% of what's happened this season and yet everything feels organic. Once it's revealed, you want to clap yourself on the forehead and say, how did I miss that? We have 5 more episodes left. Terry Matalas himself told me that the last 2 hours are the equivalent of a summer blockbuster and I'm inclined to believe him. The end is coming. Are you prepared? Cool posts from around the web. Page 2. I love Sci-Fi's 12 Monkeys and I want you to love it too. Because I fully believe 12 Monkeys is one of the best TV shows out there and it hurts me that more people don't know about how truly unique and amazing it is. I take it personally, people. Those of you who haven't watched 12 Monkeys, aren't caught up, or stopped along the way and haven't returned, I'm telling you, you need to watch. It's a moral imperative. I hear you over there saying it. There's so much TV out there already. I get it. In the age of peak TV, finding room for new shows is hard. Especially when you're juggling work, friends, kids, bowling teams, etc. And I know people are always throwing out statements like, you need to watch this show, and, it's one of the best shows out there, about, well, everything these days. But this time it's true. Read more. Hollywood loves a good apocalypse. Post-apocalyptic films continue to flourish, and with the way current events seem to be headed, these movies are becoming even more relevant. Be it exciting adventure films or bleak existential reflections, the end of the world is big business for show business. After all, who doesn't want to see the human race meet its demise at this point? This week, those damn dirty apes are back for War for the Planet of the Apes, the latest film in the surprisingly excellent reboot of the Planet of the Apes franchise. Once again, humanity inches ever closer to extinction while intelligent apes claim the planet for themselves. Good for them. In the grand scheme of post-apocalyptic films, it's not that bad, especially when compared to some other films in a similar vein. In the spirit of this latest cinematic excursion into the aftermath of the end of the world, let's rank some cinematic post-apocalypses from how tolerable they seem to how devastatingly awful they are. Sounds pleasant. Ever wonder how you might fare in the aftermath of the end of the world? Reading this list is the only way to find out. Read more. Sci-Fi has ordered the fourth and final season of 12 Monkeys, based on the Terry Gilliam film, which itself was based on the short film, Légèreté. While an earlier plan was for the series to last 5 seasons, it'll wrap up a little sooner than intended. With the ending, the plan is to journey back to the beginning. Below, learn more about the 12 Monkeys' final season. Read more. This week at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour, I got a chance to interview Natalie Chides on her upcoming sci-fi series Hunters. We'll bring you the full interview when the show premieres in April, but Chides was also a producer of the sci-fi series 12 Monkeys, so we got some news while we spoke about Hunters. Based on the Terry Gilliam film, 12 Monkeys has updated the timeline to encompass the present day, the past, and an even more distant viral apocalyptic future. As the film was based on the short Légèreté, it had a circular logic revealed in the film's finale. Chides said the show has also been designed to circle back to its own pilot, whenever the series ultimately ends. Read more. 1995 doesn't feel like it was so very long ago. If you were alive in that era, you probably still remember oohing and awing over Toy Story's CG animated surfaces for the very first time, or meeting a brand new 007 in Pierce Brosnan. But in fact, you are wrong. 1995 really was that long ago. At least, we still have some favorites of the era to take us back. Even if we are now streaming them on iTunes instead of popping them into our VCRs. We're not saying these are the best films of 1995, that's a conversation for another time, but these are the ones that stuck with us. Some because they've become reliable favorites, some because they still feel remarkably fresh, and others because they're so hilariously 1995, they couldn't possibly have been made at any other time. Join us in revisiting 20 films turning 20 in 2015 after the jump. Read more. Cool posts from around the web. In less than 2 weeks we'll get to see what the sci-fi take on 12 Monkeys really has to offer. For now, you can watch the 12 Monkeys opening, as the first 9 minutes of the pilot episode are online. Most of this is material that will be pretty familiar to those who know Terry Gilliam's 1995 movie, There's a Vision of the Future, 2043, to be exact, in which most of civilization has been wiped out, and there's a 2013 set scene that sets up the interaction between time traveler James Cole, Aaron Stanford, and virologist Cassandra Rayleigh, Amanda Sculp, who may or may not be able to help Cole save the future. Check out the footage below. Read more. TV companies are going crazy trying to mine film libraries for the next big television series, because why come up with an original untested idea without an established brand name title, right? I almost included the movie to television series trend in my 9 current movie and television trends I hate article last month, but I decided it was too soon to make that judgment. Well, I'm already tired of seeing the announcements. I really loved Fargo, and I really mean loved. It's my favorite television series of the year. I'm still enjoying Friday Night Lights, Parenthood showrunner Jason Kottam's About a Boy, and I know many people who really dig Hannibal, Bates Motel, and From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. So it's hard for me to condemn it at this point. And yes, there are also Gotham, Constantine and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I consider those shows comic book adaptations. You might be shocked to learn that there are currently over 30 television shows in development right now based on big-screen movies. Which are good ideas? Which sound horrible? After the jump, I attempt to rank all of the movies being adapted into TV shows, by concept from worst to most promising ideas. Read more. Sci-Fi has released a new trailer for the television series adaptation of Terry Gilliam's 1995 film 12 Monkeys. The show, which follows the journey of a time traveler from the post-apocalyptic future who is on a mission to eradicate the source of a deadly plague, is gearing up to premiere on Friday, January 16, 2015 at 9 p.m. Watch the new 12 Monkeys TV trailer embedded after the jump. Read more. So as not to be left out of the pattern of producers redoing established film properties as television shows, Sci-Fi has made a 12 Monkeys TV series. The show appears determined to expand the story told in Terry Gilliam's film, with Aaron Stanford, Nikita Pyro in the X-Men films, playing the Bruce Willis role of Cole, who travels back in time from 2043 in order to locate the source of a plague that will all but wipe out humanity. We've seen a trailer, and now Sci-Fi has set the premiere date in stone. Read more. An adaptation of Terry Gilliam's underrated 1995 film 12 Monkeys is coming to TV. A 12-episode series has been ordered for the Sci-Fi network with the aim to premiere January 2015. Charles Roven, who produced the original film as well as many of the DC comic book movies, is on board to produce, and veterans of shows such as Friday Night Live's Nikita, Terra Nova, V and Heroes are also behind the scenes. X-Men star Aaron Stanford will play the lead role of a man sent back in time to destroy a plague. Read more about the 12 Monkeys TV show below.